So I guess it's something like you're able to sort of
Oh, that's fine. Well, I don't know the number on it.
I'm not. That's where that was.
It's not something you go back and sort. Yeah. Information that's not contained, then you should tell it. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Optional.
Which
That's she said better mention it. Didn't get any new information.
All right, Jolie, ready? Stephanie, ready? We're recording.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everybody. I would like to open the November 6th, 2025 meeting of the Los Altos Planning Commission. Who is going to be establishing quorum and all that sort of stuff tonight? Stephanie?
That is me.
Okay, great. Could you establish quorum?
Yes. Commissioner Ross,
You have to speak in this.
Commissioner Ahi,
Here.
Commissioner Steinle,
Here.
Commissioner Mensinger, here, Vice Chair Roach,
Here.
and Chair Bedonato.
Here.
Yeah, all members are present.
All six.
All 6 of 6. Great. Okay. To start off, we have a lot to cover tonight, so we're going to try to be as efficient as possible. First, I'd like to welcome the newest member of the Planning Commission, Daphne Ross. Welcome, Daphne. We'll make an exception to the applause policy for that one. We appreciate you stepping up to serve the city and the residents. Next, we have a lot of people here tonight, and I expect we'll see some others as well. Some of you may not have been to city meetings previously, so we always like to just give a few reminders. I want to let you know that the commissioners here all take our roles very seriously. And what's really helpful is when you send in public comments that we can read in advance and we can think about and we can research with staff or with the city attorney or whoever. So those written comments are most helpful. And I suspect most of us here have read every one of those, including the ones coming in late this afternoon. So thank you for all those comments. I also want to let you know how these meetings work, how public comments work, and given some recent events, what's expected of attendees. Our municipal code has an entire chapter, 2.05, which covers the conduct rules for public meetings. I'm sure most of us here have never seen that chapter. But we ask that everybody treat each other with respect and that the most important thing, this chamber is designed for acoustics so we can hear everything. So while you're sitting in your seats, we ask that you refrain from chatting. We can hear every whisper, every conversation, and that's just really disturbing to the proceedings. So we appreciate your help with that. With regard to public comments, because we have a lot on our agenda, we will adjust the time available to each speaker based on the number of speakers, as is typical. And I will point out, as others have, that you don't have to take the full time available to you if you don't need to. You can say things like, oh, I really agree with Mr. Jones or Ms. Smith, what they just said, just to help streamline things. We've probably already seen your written comments and know how you feel about things. And, we don't engage in dialogue. We don't say, oh, that's not right, or that is right, or yes, you're correct. We just, we have to listen, and then we move on to the next speaker. And one last point, I need to point out that members of the public cannot cede their time to others during a proceeding like we have tonight with a quasi-judicial proceeding. So that's it there. If you would like to speak, either items on the agenda or for one of the projects tonight, we ask that you fill out one of these public speaker cards, which are located right by the door. And that way we can keep track of how many people would like to speak. Just put the item number for the project if you want to say something. And there's item 2, which is 996 Lorraine, and there's item 3, which is 4898 El Camino Real. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, that would be most helpful. I have 2 already, but I'm guessing there will be more than 2. Okay. Jolie, did I forget anything? I did. Yep. All right. So first up, we will move on to public comments for items not on the agenda. It's always our first order of business, and this is not for the 2 projects or the elections that are at hand. We can only take public comments from people present in the chambers. Anyone who wishes to speak about an item that is included in the agenda should wait until that time. And again, speaker cards we talked about, and we cannot respond to you, discuss your comment, or otherwise act on matters that are not on the published agenda. So I'll open public comments for items not on the agenda. Are there any cards? No? Okay. Then I will close public comments for items not on the agenda. And let's move on to our consent calendar. We have one item tonight, the minutes from our September 4th meeting. Are there any questions from any of the commissioners on the minutes? No? I will entertain a motion.
So moved. We accept the minutes.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion from Commissioner Mensinger, seconded by Commissioner Steinle. Could we please call the roll?
Commissioner Ross.
Yes.
Commissioner Ahi.
Yes.
Commissioner Steinle.
Yes.
Commissioner Mensinger. Yes. Vice Chair Roach
Yes.
and Chair Benato.
Yes.
Unanimously approved.
Oh,
Uh,
Jolie, go ahead.
No, I just want to explain because we have a new member and she did it right. If you are not here for the minutes, there used to be an old rule where you couldn't vote on the minutes, but they actually changed that rule because you're not attesting to the veracity of the minutes, you're just approving the minutes for the record. So if you've missed a meeting, you can come back and still approve the minutes. So everybody's kind of on the same page. But it used to be, oh, I wasn't here, I can't approve the minutes, but that rule's changed, so.
Okay, and just for my help here, Darrell Hoff, I can't tell if that's a 2 or a 3. Well, you kind of wrote both, so this is for 3. Okay, thank you. and Jim Clark is 3, I think. Okay, we have a lot for 3 and 1 for 2. All right, and if there are more comment cards, please fill them out and give them to staff. Here comes some more. Oh, here comes some more. All right, I'm gonna try and keep this organized. All right, so we have 2 public hearings tonight and a special item. Item 2, design review, a conditional use permit and a vesting tentative map for 996 Lorraine Avenue. Item 3, design review, conditional use permit and a vesting tentative map for 4898 El Camino Real. Because of the number of people here and not wanting to throw a new chair under the bus, we will handle the public hearings after the 2 projects. And for each item, we will receive staff's oral report, which supplements the written report we received in our packets. Commissioners can then ask questions of the staff and applicant. The applicant gets 10 minutes. Then we can ask questions, and then public comments, then a rebuttal, and then we'll move on to discussion and a vote. So we will start with the public hearing for item 2. I will open the public hearing for item 2 regarding the project at 996 Lorraine Avenue. And I have to get in as many gavel uses tonight before it's taken away from me. I now would like to invite staff to present item 2. I think it's going to be Sean, right?
Yes, let me get this going. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm waiting for the slide presentation to show up on the screen. It's not coming up, I guess. Oh, there it goes. Okay, great. Good evening, Chair Bernardo and Commissioners. My name is Sean Gallego, Senior Planner with the Planning Division. Tonight, you're considering a design review permit to demolish an existing 1-story commercial building and construct a 3-story mixed-use development at 996 Lorraine Avenue. The project includes 12 residential units, 962 square feet of ground floor commercial space, and utilizes the density bonus with waivers. Additionally, the Commission is requested to recommend City Council approval of a vesting tentative map to create 13 condominium lots and 1 common lot at the site. Staff would like to discuss a few cases and laws applicable to the project before going into project detail. So the Housing Accountability Act limits a city's ability to deny or reduce the density of a housing project that meets objective standards. It prevents cities from using subjective design preferences or discretionary review to delay compliant housing. The city may only deny such projects if there is clear evidence of unmitigable public health or safety impact. In reference to the case Schreiber versus City of Los Angeles, the court ruled that under the state density bonus law, applicants do not need to prove that requested incentives such as additional height, floor area directly reduce costs. These incentives are presumed to do so, and cities may reject them only on substantial evidence. In regards to the Bunker Hill 150 versus City of San Diego case, the court affirmed that qualifying density bonus projects are entitled to waivers of local standards that would physically preclude construction. Cities cannot require or suggest redesigns to avoid waivers. Review must focus on whether the requested waivers are necessary for feasibility and compliance with state housing law. Under Senate Bill 330, also known as the Housing Crisis Act, it limits how cities review housing projects by requiring that decisions be based only on adopted objective standards. Under SB 330, the city may not deny or modify a qualifying project based on neighborhood character or precedent or aesthetic preferences or economic consideration unless those issues are addressed through measurable objective standards. The project site is approximately 0.2 acres located on the southwest corner of Lorraine Avenue and Miramonte Avenue. The project site, as stated previously, is currently developed with a 2,240 square foot single-story commercial building with landscaping and 11 surface parking spaces. The project proposes to demolish the existing commercial building, construct the 17,674 square foot mixed-use building Again, it provides 962 square foot of commercial space with 12 residential units on the upper floors. On-site parking is provided at grade with 16 spaces, including 12 for residents and 4 for the commercial use. The slide above provides a view of the proposed building from along San Antonio Road to the left and the alley. I'm sorry, above to the left is perspective from Dolores Avenue. The upper right is perspective northwest from Miramonte. To the bottom left is perspective from southwest from Miramonte Avenue. And then the lower right perspective is from Lorraine Avenue. The site provides pedestrian access for Miramonte and Lorraine Avenues with separate entries for residential and commercial uses and vehicular access from Lorraine Avenue. 16 at-grade parking spaces, again, are provided, including 8 EV-ready and 4 with active charging. Landscaping includes new trees, shrubs, permeable pavers along both frontages with crepe myrtles, Chinese pistache, and western redbuds. 3 non-protected trees will be removed and 4 adjacent trees preserved. The 1,824 square foot rooftop terrace features ornamental olive trees, drought-tolerant landscaping, seating areas, and a fire pit. The project does align with the general plan policies. It complies with the zoning standards for the CN district and the city's objective design control standards, except where modifications were made under the density bonus state law. The neighborhood designation has no set density, so the base density was calculated for a fully compliant project at 39 units per acre or 8 dwelling units. With 2 low-income units, the project qualifies for a 50% density bonus under Government Code 65915, allowing for 4 additional units or a total of 12 units. The density bonus report confirms compliance with state and local requirements. One concession under the ordinance allows an increase in building height from 30 feet to approximately 41 feet, and 7 waivers are requested as stated in the staff report. The project is expecting to have less than 50 net new trips. Under city policy, projects generating less than 50 net new trips are exempt from local transportation analysis. Therefore, no further analysis or trip assignment was completed. Under the city's VMT policy, the retail space qualifies as a local serving under 60,000 square foot area, and the residential use would generate fewer than 110 daily trips, meeting CEQA's small project screening thresholds. The site is also a low VMT, which also is a screen threshold. The project therefore meets the VMT screening criteria, is not required to complete a detailed VMT analysis. Circulation along Miramonte will continue to operate safely for all users, and pass-through traffic on Lorraine Avenue, staff beliefs, will be minimal due to its local residential function and limited connectivity. After a further review of the project, staff noted a condition was not included in the Planning Commission resolution in regards to valley water improvements. We request incorporation of the condition in your final motion. It's on the screen above. What the condition stipulates is an encouragement permit shall be obtained from Santa Clara Valley Water District prior to any work within or adjacent to Valley Water right of way in accordance with Valley Water Resource Protection Ordinance. Any modification, relocation, or encroachment within or adjacent to the Valley Water right of way shall be prohibited unless approved by Valley Water. The building permit and public improvement plan shall identify Valley Water infrastructure and right-of-way. Review of the plans and issuance of any necessary permits from Valley Water shall be obtained and submitted to the city prior to building permit approval or issuance. It can be, it would be assigned in the planning division section, I believe. Engineering, sorry. Staff does recommend approval of the project consistent with the recommended motion. Upon commission approval, the vesting tentative map will be forwarded to council for consideration. This concludes staff's presentation. Unless there are any questions, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sean. I think we're going to do the applicant presentation and then we'll have questions for staff and the applicant at the same time. So is the applicant present?
Yes.
Oh, great. So you have 10 minutes to present. And if you could let us know who you are, that would be great.
Does it? How do I do that?
On the right, there's a button.
Yeah, got it. I think that's as far as it goes.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Can you, I mean, I think I can talk
Yeah,
loud enough
yeah,
that you
it's
guys.
totally
can hear me.
fine.
Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. Oh, how do I get my presentation up?
Sean will help you with that.
Sorry. Where do I go? Oh, I go this way?
You can share this.
I don't think it's on. I don't know.
Window? Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, yeah, okay. I got it. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for your patience.
Oh. She got it?
Good evening. My name is Brent Randall with SDG Architects. It's been a pleasure working with Sean Gallegos as the city planner on this project. And because of his thorough presentation introducing this, my main focus will be on how this project fits in with the neighborhood and the benefits that it provides.
Can we start the clock? Thank you.
Okay. I hope I'm talking loud enough. So Sean already introduced the project site to you. This just gives an overview of how Miramonte really is the main road that will be used to access the site as it comes to getting off of Foothill Expressway and getting onto it using A Street. So we do not anticipate the traffic for this project going through the neighborhood, but rather staying on Miramonte. Then just, sorry, I wish this could go. So this gives a diagrammatic circulation for the site. Probably one of the biggest benefits that this project provides to the immediate neighborhood is cleaning up the sidewalk condition and the walkways to cross over Miramonte Avenue and Lorraine Avenue. It's kind of, this parcel is kind of sandwiched between parcels that are in process, I think, with becoming what the road width is going to be, but isn't there just yet. So you can see that at the corner of Miramonte Avenue and Lorraine, there's a bulb out that provides an accessible ramp and a walkway that will get you over to the other side on Miramonte. That will be a great improvement, as well as the other one that takes you across the street to 1491 Miramonte. This parcel is like the last, this parcel is the last one. It's the last parcel that's connected with the commercial neighborhood zone before it turns completely into residential. The property to the south, 991 Dolores, is actually a Montessori school. It's designated commercial. And then there's a house above it to the west, 982 Lorraine.
Excuse me, sir. Could we pause the clock for a second? I'm not sure he's coming through the mic right now. Do I need to do something up here to? And we can go back to 7 minutes when we, there is a lectern on off button. Should I hit it? Okay, because I saw you turn it off earlier, but you. Okay, thank you. Sorry, the Zoom wasn't getting your comments, so. Oh, it was.
Yeah, it's just for the speaker.
Perfect. Can we test it out, sir?
Hello?
There we go. All right.
It's a bit much.
All right.
Okay.
Can we, were we good on time? All right, please go
Okay.
ahead. Sorry for
So
the.
it sounds like I don't need to repeat myself.
No, no, no.
Everybody heard okay.
Everyone on Zoom heard it okay.
Excellent. So this just underscores that the pedestrian circulation will be greatly improved in terms of safety. We also just wanted to show how this project respects the residential neighborhood that surrounds it by keeping just about all of its circulation on Miramonte. That is the main entrance into the residential portion of the site, as well as the retail. The effort was to put the entry to the garage on Lorraine Avenue to reinforce Miramonte as a commercial street per the city's zoning, and really provide as much retail as we could along that side. In terms of loading for the commercial and trash and waste pickup, that also takes place along Miramonte. So we've tried and I think succeeded in making sure that the project has most of its activities on Miramonte and stays very quiet as you get further into Lorraine. Hello, buddy? What's going on here? Okay. So I just wanted to highlight some of the attributes of the building itself. The city municipal code requires that the building have a identifiable base, middle, and top. And this building provides a stone veneer with precast glass, it's called GFRC, glass reinforced fiber concrete trim that will offer a very smooth finish and cap off the stone. Then on the second floor, we provided a wood-looking siding that should provide some nice earth tones that would blend in with the residential. And then on the top, we have the mansard roof and the gables to express residential character. Okay. Then along Lorraine, that's where we have the entrance into the parking garage. This one, we just wanted to highlight that we have a 20-foot buffer between the building and the adjacent residential property. And then up on the roof, I don't know if you guys can see this arrow, but the roof terrace actually starts at this point. So it's about, it's close to 40 feet away from the property line. And I wanted to address potential concerns with the roof terrace. So a lot of effort was put into designing this roof terrace so that we would minimize its presence and its intrusion onto the neighborhood properties. We specifically tucked it into the mansard roof so that it has a solid wall that surrounds it. And then in addition to that, we made sure that where we have the elevator and stair on the south, we enclosed the door area so that opening and closing, there would be no perception of that to adjacent properties. And we also used the stair tower on the north side to help shield the neighborhood from the roof terrace. And so you can see with that red outline on your left, you'll see the south stair and the elevator. That provides a solid wall there. Then we use the mechanical wells and the roof and green planters extensively to further push the activities of the roof terrace away from the edge to provide privacy. And then I think one more. So this is a view from the roof terrace looking toward the south stair, and the elevator would be all the way over on the left. You can see here, the intention is that the landscaping, planters, the trees, the bushes will make it a very private space and very disconnected from the adjacent parcel so that both properties will have privacy. So thank you for this chance to present the project, and I look forward to answering any questions.
Great, thank you. So we will now move on to questions from the commissioners for staff or the applicant. Does anybody have any questions? Down here? Nothing? Go ahead, Sue. Go ahead.
Question about bike parking.
Mike.
A question about the bike parking. There's not even one bike parking space per unit, is there?
Could you approach the microphone, please?
Okay, is it on? Yeah.
Yeah.
One bicycle parking space per unit was not required.
Yes, I know that, but
Okay, yeah, so yeah, we did provide a secure room on the ground floor
Mhm.
that provides, I believe, the 5 parking spots that are required for the site. This project also, many of the units have decks, and if people so choose, they might be able to put a bike there or store it in their room if they need to. So, but yeah, we've provided the required bicycle parking, and there is a rack on the street, Miramonte, that provides spots for two bicycles from the general public to lock their bikes up to use the retail.
and the spots for the residents of the building, do they include e-bike charging?
That detail has not yet been defined. I
Okay.
don't believe that was in the municipal code when we set out to provide those spots, but I don't see why that could not be accommodated. It's, again, it's in a secure room and it will have access to electricity.
Yeah, I realize some things aren't required by code, but we find many owners have said it's really useful to include these because it's more attractive to
Yeah.
potential tenants. So
Yeah.
try to bring it up at an early stage.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sean, do you want to address the what's required in terms of electric for bikes? Do you have it off the top of your head?
So for the timing of this particular project, the new bicycle ordinance and regulations aren't applicable to it. So
Oh,
we were
okay.
using the VTA standards that were enforced at the time that didn't have that. Otherwise, the project would have incorporated all those requirements.
Okay. Well, if you guys could factor that into your thinking, putting the outlets in now, way less expensive than later. And we've heard a lot from residents about e-bikes and all that stuff. All right, you have questions?
Is this a garage or a carport? Is there a garage door in the front or is it open parking?
Yeah, it's open parking, so I guess it would qualify as a carport.
Okay.
The building, the residential units are above it, so it's protected from the weather, but it is open.
Okay. Or there is interesting with everybody typically putting underground parking or parking where you can't see the cars and you're going to have an open area for parking under, in which I don't think is very attractive, but I'm not buying it. So, is there EV for the cars for all of them?
Yes, there is. I believe there's charging, I think, for 2 or 3 cars, and then there's, I think, 8 or 9 spots that have they're ready to have chargers installed.
Okay, and so we have a total of 12 parking, 8 for the residents.
No, there's 16 parking stalls.
Okay.
There's 12, 1 for each unit, and then
Okay.
there's 4 for the retail.
Okay, and we've got,
And Commissioner Roach, I can clarify too. So there are 8 EV ready spaces. And then there are 4 EV charging stations.
still only 4 really hooked up, but the other ones are ready.
Yes.
Okay. So we assume that with 8 2-bedroom apartments, that there's going to be 8, assuming that most people have 2 bedrooms, they're going to have 2 people living there, they have 2 cars. So given that and the 4 1-bedrooms, so we're assuming that there's going to be 8 cars parked on the street.
Not necessarily. I mean,
Okay.
we don't know who's going to live there. They're going to have 2 cars. So
Or none, yeah.
yeah, I mean,
they got
they're going to
bikes.
go into it knowing that they have 1 parking spot. So
Okay,
that's the buyer. That's the market.
okay, thank you.
All right. Maris?
I was just curious, the 9 parking spots that are just open, is there a reason that you just wanted them open and not to have like an awning or a cover of some sort?
They're, how would you say, predominantly covered. It's just maybe like the last 2 or 3 feet, the front of the car that's not covered. So
Based on these drawings, it looks like most of it's not covered. I just wasn't sure what the thinking was of not having them just to be fully open. Was there like I mean,
a lot of that was driven by the site itself, being able to, I guess it's an efficient use of using that 20-foot buffer. We used some of it for the cars and some of it for the landscaping.
okay. Got it.
I mean, the parking lot complies with all the city standards
Yeah.
requirements for the widths and everything, so.
Yeah, yeah,
it's
no, the
kinda driven
parking,
By that geometry.
yeah, no, the parking is fine. I just, like a horizontal awning going across just to cover it slightly.
Yeah, that.
It's
we were-
odd that it's not covered.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that largely was because of the 20-foot setback.
I
that
see.
We were required to have.
Got it. Okay.
Good. Any other questions? All right, I think we will move on to public comments. There was one card from Ann Paulson. And if there's anyone else who would like to speak on this item, if you could please fill out a card, that would be great. And you have up to 3 minutes. Keywords up to.
Good evening, Commissioners. First, I
Pull the
just
mic.
want to,
There you go.
I'd like to point out that what you need to charge an e-bike is a power outlet. That's all. You plug in your charger. It's like your phone or something. Good evening, and hi, Daphne. It sounds like I read the letters in the packet, and it sounds like some residents were upset about the height of this project, and I am too. Our city allows 4 stories there, could be 5 or 6, and this is only 3. So it's less housing than it could be, but nevertheless, that is a disappointment. But nevertheless, it seems to comply, and you should approve it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ann. Are there any other comments? All right, I will close the public comments. And if applicant would like to address rebuttal for 5 minutes, I don't know that there's someone complaining you didn't go high enough. That's never happened before.
First, yeah.
Are you good? Okay, great. So we are going to close the public hearing and we will move on to the discussion of the commissioners. So is there anybody who would like to start the discussion? Okay, please.
So I think based on the previous version that we saw in 2022, I think this is an improvement. I wish that the project had, looked into ground level landscaping more, step backs on the upper stories, maybe making the balconies more private, especially with the sight lines across the street. But that would have been nice, but that's the situation that we're in. When we have, 10 waivers or something requested, then the objective design standard kind of gets thrown out. So is this project technically sufficient to approve tonight? Yes. I just wish that maybe a little bit more care had gone into those specific aspects that I mentioned. So that's it. Those are my comments.
All right, thank you. Anybody?
I-
Eric,
I-
please.
I just want to second what Meru said, and I want, as the president of an HOA, and that's the successor to you as the developer, put as many outlets in as you possibly can. There will never be too many. And things will change. I'm in a building that came just before all the electric vehicle things and other things, and trying to figure out how to fit that sort of hardware into a place that wasn't built for it is my version of hell. So I just, there are never too many, they're never too powerful, and they will always be appreciated, and there will never be enough. Okay? Apart from that, I endorse what Mary said.
All right, I'll look to this side. Go ahead.
I agree with my colleagues who've just spoke. And I would also say, I feel very badly for the people who live adjacent to this building. I mean, it is going to be intrusive with them. There are going to be sight lines into their yard, but that is the world we live in now. And I think, as was pointed out by Sean at the beginning, we have very little discretion to do anything in this situation. But it is unfortunate for the residents. But technically, we have to approve it.
I would agree with my colleagues. It is a big improvement over the first 2022 project, lots of improvements. It does tower over the single family adjacent to it. You're going to have some avoiding, people next door are not going to get the sun because of the shade, because of the building's height. I think my biggest complaint, you might have figured this out already, is with the garage. I think it's really tacky. You spent this much money to build a really nice looking project and you put a carport underneath it. It doesn't cost that much to put a door up and have it look, and not only more appealing, but more secure. And then as Commissioner Ahi says, with the 20-foot buffer, and I understand the setbacks, you've got the car, basically, you've got those 9 cars or 8 cars, whatever it is, outside. Fortunately, the weather's not that bad here. Overall, the project is good, and I again, go with my colleague here. I feel sorry for the neighbors. It could be better, but we're dealing with what we can, and that we don't have a choice.
All right. Commissioner Ross?
Thank you. I don't have much to say. You know, we welcome housing in Loyola Corners, and I think it'll be a good addition. Thank you to the applicant who was very cognizant of how the terrace was going to face. I feel like you really pointed out ways that you were trying to keep it from the edge, because I think there are homeowners who are worried about people being on the terrace, not just for noise, but also for sightlines. So, so thank you for being cognizant about that.
All right, and I echo many of the comments from my colleagues. I like the design. I think it is an attractive looking building, and you know, I think you did a very good job of trying to put some articulation in various places, make it look more residential. I know I don't agree with all my colleagues on roof terraces in general. I'm looking to my right, sir. But I really like that amenity for residents, especially with the view of the hills and being able to see the sun go down. And I agree with Commissioner Ross about the effort that was taken to minimize the impact on the neighbors. We've had other situations where you could look right down into, you know, single family homes house. And I think great care was taken there. As my colleagues have stated, this is a challenging location, and we did, I know we didn't, I'm actually surprised we didn't have any in-person speakers tonight, but we received many comments, and we did, I just want to emphasize to those neighbors, we did understand those concerns, but given state laws in California, there's little discretion to modify the project. So we have to abide by those laws, and they have designed something within the bounds that are appropriate. So I will leave it at that. And any other comments from anybody or discussion? All right. I think we need 2 motions tonight, along with an additional condition thing or whatever that was. So I don't know if someone would like to take this on. Okay. And that goes in the first motion or the second motion? First motion. Would you like to take a stab at it?
I can take a stab, where I was going to suggest that maybe since you have it there, you just go ahead and make the motion.
Oh, I don't have it anymore. I'm
You don't
sorry,
have to
sir.
anymore. Okay.
And you don't have to read the whole condition. You
No,
can
no,
stay
just-
with the addition.
Yeah, just there is an addition, right?
Yes, and 81. Well, that's what Sean wrote. I don't know.
He said after 81.
Oh, after, so it is actually 82. You know, if I could read, I could get a decent job. Okay. All right, I'm going to give it a try. Okay, so we're doing 2 motions then? Okay. First motion, I move that we adopt a resolution approving design review and conditional use permit for the construction of a 3-story mixed-use development with 12 residential units and 962 square feet of ground floor commercial space utilizing state density bonus with a concession and waivers at 996 Lorraine Avenue per the recommended findings and conditions of approval, and find the project is statutorily exempt from environmental review pursuant to Public Resources Code. Actually, it's, okay, 21080.66. And, right, this goes with, okay, and that condition number 82 be added relating to the valley water improvements.
All right.
Okay, I think that's.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Steinle, seconded by Commissioner Mensinger. Could you call the roll?
Commissioner Ross,
Yes.
Commissioner Ahi,
Yes.
Commissioner Steinle,
Yes.
Commissioner Mensinger.
Yes.
Vice Chair Roach,
Yes.
and Chair Benato.
Yes.
Unanimous approval.
All right. And then want to try number 2 as well?
I can try number 2. yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And this is a motion that we recommend to the city council that they adopt a resolution approving a vesting tentative map to create 13 condominium lots and 1 common lot at 996 Lorraine Avenue per the recommended findings and conditions of approval, and find the project is statutorily exempt from environmental review pursuant to Public Resources Code, section 21080.66.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Motion by Commissioner Steinle, seconded by Commissioner Mensinger.
Commissioner Ross,
Yes.
Commissioner Ahi.
Yes.
Commissioner Steinle.
Yes.
Commissioner Mensinger.
Yes.
Vice Chair Roach,
Yes.
Chair Benato.
Yes.
Unanimous recommendation.
All right. Both passed unanimously. Thank you. We'll give a few seconds here for people to clear out if they would like to, just in their chairs. Thank you. Good luck. Good luck with the construction. All right, we are going to move on to the public hearing for item 3. And I will open the public hearing regarding 4898 El Camino Real. And before we start, I think a few of us have disclosures. In my case, at the invitation of the applicant, Mr. Navneet Aron, I hope I pronounced that correctly. I met with the applicant and his partner last week at the project site to see what the project was about. We had not received the packet at that point, and that is my disclosure. And I believe there may be others who also met. If you would like to just identify yourselves. Yeah.
I also met with the applicant at the site, and it was prior to us having any of our materials. So
Any other meetings?
I met with the developer on Monday of this week, before the agenda packet had been sent.
All right. So we're going to move on to staff presentation. Sean, take it away. There. Thank you. And just a reminder, if you'd like to speak on this project, please fill out a card and hand it over to staff. Go ahead, Sean.
Again, good evening, Chair Benato and Commissioners. My name is Sean Gallegos, Senior Planner with the Planning Division. The item before you tonight is a design review and conditional use permit for an 8-story multifamily residential building at 4898 El Camino Real. The project proposes 85 residential units, including 10 very low-income units utilizing the state density bonus law with associated waivers of development standards. In addition, the commission is being asked to recommend the city council approve a vesting tentative map to subdivide the property into 85 condominium lots with 1 common lot. The property is a vacant 0.43 acre parcel located at the southeast corner of El Camino Real and Jordan Avenue. The site was previously developed with a 1-story commercial building that has since been demolished. This photo shows the site view from El Camino Real with a second view from Jordan Avenue. The project proposes to construct an 8-story multifamily residential building with 85 dwelling units. Vehicle access to the fully underground automated parking garage is provided from Jordan Avenue. The garage will accommodate 95 vehicle spaces, including electric vehicle charging stations, along with long-term and short-term bicycle parking. The project also provides landscaped roof deck, ground floor pedestrian amenities, streetscape improvements along both El Camino Real and Jordan Avenue, including new sidewalks, planters, and street trees. The residential mix includes 1 studio, 6 one-bedroom units, and I'm sorry, I have the numbers wrong. The mixture includes both a studio, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom units. The site provides pedestrian access from El Camino Real and Jordan Avenue with main residential entries in El Camino Real at the corner of the site, with secondary access from Jordan exiting from a stairwell, and then also an entrance along the rear driveway entering the building adjacent to the parking spaces. The vehicle access to the underground automated garage is from Jordan. It includes, again, 95 spaces, 12 EV-ready, and 6 active charging stalls, plus a bicycle parking. Landscape features include ornamental shrubs and new trees, 3 Chinese pistache in El Camino, 4 ginkgo along Jordan Avenue. The 2,720 square foot rooftop deck offers landscape amenity spaces with golden spirit smoke trees, drought-tolerant plantings, seating, and shaded gathering areas. The project does align with the general plan policies that complies the zoning standards of the CT district and the city's objective design control standards. The thoroughfare commercial CT designation has no fixed residential density, so the base density was calculated for a fully compliant project at 50 units per acre or 50 units on the project site. With 10 very low income units, 20% of the base, the project qualified for a 50% density bonus, adding 25 units. An additional 20% density bonus was provided for exceeding affordability requirements, which added an additional 10 units for a total of 85 units for the site. The density report confirms compliance with state and local requirements and includes the requested waivers. No concessions are requested at this time. 16 waivers are proposed to modify the standards that would otherwise preclude the project, allowing the full permitted density and efficient inclusion of affordable units. The project is expected to generate, a local transportation analysis was completed due to the project exceeding 15 net new daily trips. Under the city's VMT policy, my little thing that I prepared is wrong. I don't know. A transportation analysis was determined, and the applicant can speak to that, I'm sorry. Based on the project design and detailed analysis, there would be no significant impacts on traffic operations according to established traffic engineering standards, and no off-site transportation improvements are required. Staff recommends approval of the project consistent with the recommended motion. Upon commission approval, the vesting tentative parcel map application will be moved forward to council for consideration. This concludes staff's presentation. Unless there are any questions, thank you.
All right, thank you, Sean. We're gonna do the same process with having the applicant present for 10 minutes, and then we'll go back to commissioners for questions. So welcome.
Thank you.
And do you need help connecting to the, are you gonna display something?
Yes.
Sean, if you could, I don't know what the process is for them connecting. They do connect to Zoom or something.
Yeah, it should pop up.
Is my screen visible? Is it on? Oh, it's on. Great.
Well, no, it's not presenting yet.
It says I'm sharing my screen here.
Oh, it just takes a little while. All right, and you have a 10-minute clock? All right, please begin.
Thank you, commissioners. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to come here and present the project. I'm a long time, not as long time as most people would be, but I've lived in Los Altos since 2011. Both my kids, my son just finished Los Altos High School and went to college, and my daughter is at Covington Elementary. I have had the privilege to do a lot of work in Los Altos. I've done quite a few other projects over the last 10 plus years. And I'm here to present the project here, what I would believe would be hopefully a great landmark project for Los Altos. Before I talk about the project, I wanted to give a quick overview of the timeline of this project. This project was previously entitled as a 5-story project in 2019 with 28 condos and 2 stories of underground parking. We acquired this site with the intention of executing the project as approved by the city of Los Altos in 2021. We started engaging with them, we acquired the site, and we started working with city of Los Altos in full capacity, and we went through 5 rounds of building plan check to get the project approved. We were at the very end of getting the project approved. We were excited to build the project. The interest rates went up by 500 basis points. The appraised value dramatically changed. The borrowing costs dramatically changed. I and my team did everything possible to make this project pencil after spending millions of dollars to make this work. We just couldn't make it work. We tried every which way. The project just wouldn't pencil.
Could you get a little closer to the mic?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can bend it down also if it's,
Sure.
yeah, that's good.
At that point, we started, after months and months and months of exploring and raising all kinds of debt instruments to just to be able to pay our loan and keep our loan current. We started exploring other ways to possibly take a different course, abandon the project as approved, and figure out a way to make this work. We looked at hotels, mixed use, senior housing, and many other ways to potentially do it. We looked at joint venture with even possibility of wiping me and my team completely off and somehow still protecting some of the investors who had invested. Bottom line is nothing worked for a very long time. In August of 2024, the lender filed notice of default, and it ultimately went on to notice of sale in February 2025. We almost foreclosed and went bankrupt. It was by God's grace, and I say God's grace because the housing element that the city of Los Altos had adopted, the California state density bonus laws that happened during this course of time, the bus stop being upgraded by VTA to be considered a major transit hub are all events outside my any influence. And thankfully to that, we were able to redesign the project to a point where it actually meaningfully creates excellent housing comparable to what we have on El Camino, and allows a beautiful project, something that I would be proud of in my lifetime, and create housing in the community. Of course, there were many challenges, and I've been very grateful to the staff all along, as well as to the planning commissioners who volunteer their time to create the value and housing for everybody. Here's a quick overview of the project. The project as proposed is going to be 2 stories shorter than the building right across the street, the Avalon Apartments. I have known people who have lived there. They're beautiful apartments, and our units are units that Los Altos community and residents would be proud to live in with respect to the spaciousness of those units, studios, 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms that are as planned. As staff already pointed out, there are a lot of improvements to the sidewalk and other features that are being planned. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the automated puzzle parking system, which is a state-of-the-art system, which will support 95 spots, even though in this project we were by code required to provide nothing. But I believe it is the right thing to do. And the way it is designed for 3.2 times the capacity, peak load capacities of the system when both the elevators are working, and 1.6 times when just one of them is working during maintenance and so on. I also want to talk about our building methodology. We would be building using Livio's building system for rapid construction. These are pre-assembled building panels, which enable 75% faster construction in framing, plumbing, electrical, insulation, interior sheathing, exterior elements, rigid insulation, waterproofing, finished facade systems, and reduce the waste dramatically. Also reduce the congestion because they are just in time delivered. In this case, what you're seeing is a 5-story building going up in 8 hours. In our case, we expect our project to be erected in 2 months, the whole vertical construction to be in 2 months, and then the finishing to continue after that. Incorporating BMR units is a key part of our projects, furthers the goal of cities' RHNA objectives and commitments. As a part of that, 10 BMR units are there, and they are well dispersed of all unit types, 2 bedrooms, 1 bedrooms, and studios, and also on all floors. Some of the other things that have been taken into account are well thought through trash pickup system. Of course, each floor has chutes, and we have reviewed with the Mission Trail and their staff for deliverability, sitting in their offices and deliberating and planning and improving it based on that so far. Also, how the mail would be delivered by USPS and other agencies, there are allocations for that. In the back of the building, right over here, there are 2 parallel, completely redundant puzzle parking elevators, where only one was sufficient from technical capability perspective. Even then, we would have had 1.6 times the capacity of parking. But with these 2, we built redundancy for maintenance and so on. I'm going to touch on the traffic a little bit. I'm not a traffic consultant. Our traffic consultant could not be here himself, the primary person, but one of their associates is here and would be able to take questions later on. The project is a transit-oriented within 0.5 miles of the Showers and El Camino intersection bus stop. 0 is required. We are providing 95 plus 2, 97 parking spots. As per the traffic analysis, 31 trips in the peak hour, in a peak load, 31 trips, out of which 8 are inbound and 23 are outbound. And 37 trips peak in the peak PM hour, with 23 inbound and 14 outbound are expected. This is a net change from the previous 2-story commercial that used to exist on the site, with an addition of 19 a.m., total of 19 a.m., not hourly, but total of 19 a.m., and a total of 10 p.m. trips. All 5 intersections, there were 5 intersections studied by the consultant, and all operated acceptably. Pedestrian bike safety was considered and reviewed, and no new hazards were found in the study. And the data was also cross-checked with city and Caltrans volumes for consistency by the consultant. Overall conclusion of the analysis was that no significant traffic or parking impact on nearby roads. If we could please have my consultant Max if they can be allowed to speak on the automated bus. They're not present in are they allowed to speak?
No.
Zoom?
Yeah, you have to be present.
Okay, I'll talk on his behalf then.
Okay.
So we're very excited about the automated puzzle parking system that we're putting in. It's a really state-of-the-art learning system. Let me just start with a couple of highlights. We are putting 2 parallel redundant bays, and one would have been completely sufficient. The demand per the traffic report is 23 cars per hour. However, with both the bays, both the elevators perfectly working, we would be able to handle 74 cars per hour, which is 3.2 times the demand. And with one elevator being down for maintenance or any other activity, 37 cars per hour, 1.6 times the demand would be present. System uptime efficiency, there's the consultant and the parking company that we're working with, they have efficiency of 99.19% uptime. The average retrieval times are 180 seconds, best case 48 seconds, and number of average parking time 180 seconds, and so on. So these are what they tell us. And this is a slide I wanted them to present because this is their actual data. I'm going to skip through it, but their actual numbers are actually much better. And I'm going to skip through it for today. Even though we believe that with such a highly advanced, efficient, redundant system, there will be no.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, you're out of time, but you will have a 5-minute rebuttal period. So maybe you could pick up at that point in time.
Sure.
If that's okay.
Thank you.
And I would leave the presentation. You can just leave it there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
No problem. All right. So we're going to go to questions for staff or the applicant. So any questions from anybody? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think what you had shown, if you could maybe go through that, because what I'm trying to figure out is what happens when there's 5 cars coming in and 5 cars leaving, and there's a UPS truck and an Amazon truck, like what does that look like? And where are people waiting in the building and how are like I just need to know on that map if you can show me like how are people going to line up?
Sure, I'm presenting.
There it is.
So all systems, engineering systems would be designed based on the demand. And in this case, the total capacity available of the parking system is 74, which is basically a time of less than a minute per car. So even when we go to hotels, we call valet, or if you're picking out a car, it takes more time, significantly more time than that. We expect that with both elevators working, each car would come in, people would be able to call their cars per minute, once per minute, effectively. So we don't expect a traffic congestion or backup at all based on the traffic study and the data that has been provided from the traffic study. There will be no backup. However, we have gone a step further and provided 3 spots or three marked locations as people come onto the property: W1, W2, W3, which is essentially the lane for parking in or going inside the elevators. So traffic coming in would be coming on the left side in the yellow, W1, W2, W3, and all exiting cars will be exiting in this area.
Can you zoom at all or no? It may not be possible with the presentation software, but so the 3 yellow spots, sorry to interrupt, Mary.
No.
So that's where you would wait if
Correct.
like an elevator were not available.
Yes.
So
All exiting cars will exit out this way. So this is a no parking area, and all exiting cars will always exit out this way.
So if I lived in this building, if I walk down and go in that room where the tray is, I swipe something on an app, and then my car will be brought up. But then what if someone's coming in at the same time?
So there are 2 ways to access the system. First one is a mobile app. So you can be in your room up in the taking a shower or whatever, and call the car, and it would come to you. Essentially, it'll be ready for you to take out. And also, you can set a timer. You can set an alarm. You can say, I want my car to be available to me at 6:37 a.m. And the car would be available to you facing outwards at 6:37 a.m. In the bay. So that's the first way to interact with the system. And the second way to interact with the system would be through a kiosk, which would be available. And you would be able to go to the kiosk and press to retrieve your car. Essentially, there's a code and you can retrieve your car.
Okay. And then, sorry, just one more question.
No, take your time.
If it takes 3 minutes to bring the car up once I scan the app, or is it, I thought I saw 180
Yes.
seconds.
So yes, that is correct. That is correct. The marketing, the conservative numbers are 180 seconds that have been given to us. 187 is the average retrieval time.
Okay.
And the best case retrieval time is 48 seconds.
Okay.
So when both the systems are working, the system is also a learning system. So it knows that nav typically goes early morning 5 a.m. or typically leaves at 6 p.m. And so it's a learning system. At any point of time, while cars are being parked in and going out, nine cars can be moved inside the system automatically. They are being moved in a puzzle way to be able to bring Nav's car, because he typically comes at 6:37 a.m. He needs it. So the system is learning, just like software systems. It's arranging the cars based on the patterns it has, and based on the patterns that people have explicitly said that I like to go to work at 8:30 in the morning, and so on.
And then this is probably a very might be a stupid question, but what happens if something breaks in the system and you can't get your car out?
No, I
So
won't.
that's why we have redundancy built into it.
Okay.
To serve a building like this, most developers, I would say, and financially to save money, would put in only one elevator, because from a capacity standpoint, one system, even with one elevator, you would have 1.6 times the capacity from a system capability perspective to serve the needs of the building based on all the data that is available. However, just to cover that scenario of maintenance and downtime of an elevator, because we all know elevators have downtimes, there is a parallel system. So these are completely parallel systems. And just like a hotel has 2 elevators and one can go down, you can still use one. And again, we'll be surpassing the capacity needs or the demand of the building.
Okay.
I could also add, so I'm looking at the operations plan that was prepared for this particular site. So it does reference auto cycle times, like how quickly things can be moved. So it does indicate that park and grab, the same level is 62 seconds. Park and grab at a different level is 82 seconds. Dump and retrieve is 139 seconds. On average, it can grab per lift 37.5 vehicles per hour per lift. So each lift can do 37.55. And there's additional information, but I thought that was maybe relevant for you.
Okay.
Since we're on the topic, could you bring back up that diagram? Because you mentioned you could call your car to be there at 6:30 a.m. So let's say I oversleep and I don't go out there. What happens to the car that's blocking the?
So it's like in the software world, it's the front cache and then you have the hard drive memory and so on, right? So it's similar to that. Again, I'm not a designer of the system. I've been learning myself so many different parking systems. But the way I understand it, if you don't take your car within an X amount of time, it goes back into the buffer.
Like a few minutes or something?
Yeah, it's a couple minutes.
So while it's sitting there, that light is red. No one can get in there.
Yes.
Okay. And then what do guests do who visit? Let's say a friend comes over. Can they park in these elevators? So how do they know how to do that?
It's basically a code invitation from the app that you can have. Or
so kind of like a condo with an underground parking garage. The resident gives them the code.
Yes.
They can get into the elevator and then it goes into some guest parking.
It doesn't matter guest parking or not because it's all underground. Nobody has access to it anyways. It's because it's guest, most likely the guest will leave soon. So it'll apply some logic on where to park it for fast retrieval again.
And it'll like tell them if you want to get your car out, enter code 123 or whatever. Okay, that's helpful. And then also on this diagram, while we were talking about it, so you had asked about like UPS deliveries or whatever. Are they just going to be blocking the street? Is there street parking all along Jordan right there, or?
There is street parking available today along Jordan. All of that is available.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Amazon deliveries are where it says mail van 1. Is that correct?
Mail van 1 or mail van 2 can also be used, but we believe mail van 1 will be used most of the time because it is right next to the mail room.
Okay. And is that like while the Amazon truck's there, is that blocking traffic or is it off street parking? Please, no comments. We heard you. We've seen your comments. That's why we're asking these questions.
Yeah.
Please.
So whatever street parking is available would be available to the cars which are parked there or the UPS truck, just like they do it on public roads today. And during that time, of course, they would not be parking in any red spots or anything which is required by code or law to not be parked at. And other than that, there's also capacity, the area which is marked as mail van 2, we would work with USPS for their small trucks to be able to bring in and park and be able to serve the property from there as well. This is an area which can be used for parking for a long period of time, potentially for loading, unloading, etc.
Okay. And there's no loading zone created on Jordan. Is that correct?
No. So there originally the concept was to have the loading zone in that particular area where it says mail van. But generally, when you're loading commercial vehicles, you can't back out. It's not permitted per code to back out onto a roadway. And there wasn't sufficient space. You'd have to shift the building to accommodate a turnaround area for the van.
Right.
And so then it was removed and indicated as a waiver, but you still retain that space, though it's not functional meeting the code as a loading area.
Right. But my concern would be, and this is just basic logic. The street parking is full and an Amazon guy shows up to deliver some packages, double parks, which they do all over the place. And now Jordan is blocked. So, on the previous design, there was a cutout where the trucks could pull in to service that. I don't know if any consideration was given to that, but I think it's relevant with 85 people or residences times 2 perhaps. There will be some Amazon packages. There will be other deliveries. So, have you given any other thought to that?
believe so, and I have our civil engineering firm here as well. I would let Pete Carlino maybe talk a little bit, if you may allow.
Sure, that would be great. Because the same applies to the garbage truck that shows up, or and in in Los Altos, multiple trucks come. One comes to get, I don't know if they get the garbage and the recycling, and the other one comes to get the compost, but multiple trucks. So I would love to hear your thoughts on deliveries and garbage.
So I know from my experience,
Could you-
Pete Carlino, Pete Carlino, Lee Embrace, we were the prior civil engineers on the previous version, and we were retained on this project. I know that previously, I think the part was they couldn't back out the delivery area. That's why it wasn't there.
Right.
So it was going to be established that they could do delivery or attempt delivery on Jordan as part of it, just because it would minimize the amount of disruption backing in and out of that area of the street. So this is a very similar approach we see on these types of projects. I think 40 Main is the same type of project right now. They have deliveries in the back areas, at the back of the part, also on Main Street. We're working on the same project at 48, 46 down the street that has a similar delivery right off in that area. So I'm not going to discount there will be delivery trucks, but I think it's part of development. When you have these high density developments, it's part of it.
Right. But my understanding from what all of you have said is mail van 2 spot is not usable by trucks.
Like you cannot back out into traffic. It's a public safety issue.
No, I get it. So therefore that spot is not usable by trucks. Is that
For
accurate?
Delivery trucks, is my understanding.
Okay, so they're going to have to deliver along Jordan.
Yeah.
Which might have cars parked there.
Yeah.
And they might end up double parking.
No,
Is that
there-
accurate?
There would be limited time frame. You couldn't park all the time. You'd have to be a time frame.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to anticipate
I'm
the
not
problems.
The traffic, and I totally understand. I'm not traffic planning the parking as part of it. I just said I would assume there was some sort of time parking or duration of parking on that.
As a layperson, if I may, we would totally support the idea of having a marked loading area on Jordan next to our property, where there's gray boxes anywhere along this area, and we mark permanently as dedicated loading area for the building, and which would serve all the use cases that we
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. I don't know if that's possible so close to the intersection, but any thoughts, Sean?
So the engineering division does stipulate under condition 72, red curb parking within 30 feet of El Camino Real, and then 20 feet within either side of the driveway. There has to be red curbs.
Either side of the
Driveway.
driveway. So there's no opportunity for a loading zone.
At least as directed by the engineering division, they would like to have those areas kept free from vehicles. So that line of sight, I believe, is maintained.
All right. Well, maybe we could, I don't know if there's anything that could be done offline, but I think we've identified a potential concern, but I appreciate the answers. I'm just trying to make sure the residents there, as well as the existing residents, would have reasonable situations. So
Follow up on your comment.
please, more parking?
Yeah, I was going to suggest a loading zone as well, but from what Sean said, it doesn't sound like it's doable. And I do appreciate you don't want to block the line of sights from 2
The
driveways.
red zone is
If-
blocking the line of sight. So with actually the red zones was
Yeah.
we would have it. So
So
there would
I
be opportunity if it
I
allowed.
think,
If I may.
yeah.
Can I please have Jeff?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Sorry, Jeff Potts, SDG Architects. I don't want to get the whole gang up here or anything, but based on Sean's comments about the red zones, there's still additional space between the red zone at the driveway, which is 20 feet, and the red zone at the curb. There's still an additional space for like 3 to 4 cars in there. So it could be a loading zone. I would be remiss if I didn't remind you that double parking your truck is illegal. And, they shouldn't just double park their truck there because they can. They should go around the block until there's a spot available. But I mean, we can't stop somebody else from doing something illegal. But there is space there for a loading zone. It would take away a parking space
Yeah, so
that would otherwise be available.
So that whole frontage length is about 170 feet. So with the driveway length, the additional 20 feet and then the 30 feet, it's probably around 100 feet, be available.
Okay.
That wouldn't be red curbed or access or be part of the driveway.
So I mean, that would be a city issue to look at, right? As opposed to their issue, or no? Because they don't mark the curbs. The city marks the curbs, right?
Yes, that would be something that the city engineer could
All right.
implement if
Well,
they
let's
found
just,
reasonable.
let's just table it for now unless others want to do it. But I know it's illegal for people to double park, but we've all seen it, right? And by the way, when I was on site and I go down that street regularly, there are usually no cars there currently. If you put in a bunch of residents, and you are to be commended for offering, you could, I hope the residents understand, there could have been 0 parking spots legally in this building, and you are being very generous in offering, I forget how many dozens.
95.
95. So that I think it's great that you're doing that,
Thank
and
you.
we're not trying to diminish that. But any further parking?
One thing nobody's mentioned is the fact there's a stoplight at the corner of Jordan and El Camino. So this is all good and fine. And by the way, I've been down Jordan by the site in the last 5 days, probably once every day, at least once. Every day I've been down there, there's been 3 cars parked on this curb by the site, on the Jordan site. So where you're anticipating other parking is going to come, I don't understand. You're going to you're going to be back from the curb a little bit. But now if you've got a red light and there's no parking and you've got your Amazon truck, where's it going? You know, you can't park there. Going to go around the block.
So that's where, as per Jeff's suggestion, there's enough length available along the property on Jordan where there could be a dedicated marked striped loading zone, which would be basically at that point not used by anybody for parking, which is done today, and therefore will enable to serve all the use cases.
I think if you can get the city to do that, that would be a real positive to the issue.
I should clarify too, that those vehicles that are parking are coming from off-site construction sites like 5150. There are constraints on where they're allowed to park, and so they're parking further down El Camino Real and onto Jordan.
Yep. And that, when we were there, whatever day that was, there was nobody parked there except for you and me, right? So I think it varies, but as we saw in the Loyola Corners project, there was a little indent. I don't know who has the rights over that, or if staff could look at a solution to the delivery problem, that I think that would be helpful. And I think Eric has a
Yeah, I have a question, a couple of questions, and sort of to carry on with the where do they park. I'm in a condo building on El Camino Real. The only entrance is on El Camino Real. And since the state decided to make it entirely bike friendly, suddenly all the parking space in front of the building for 89 units is no longer available. Where do moving vans go, et cetera? And so I'm wondering if you have thought in terms of this. This means going to local legislators' offices and having them fight with Caltrans, because Caltrans owns El Camino Real. The solution might be to get parking, say, a yellow strip along El Camino Real and not on Jordan, because El Camino Real is a major street. And that's usually not a problem. I'm in the process of doing that. It is possible. The city has absolutely nothing to say about it. So don't even bother them, okay? Because you will have to go like to Senator Becker and have there's somebody in his office who actually deals with Caltrans about this. They've been doing this in Palo Alto. And I'm in the process of getting this started from my people. Because, we go from 150 feet to 35 feet for deliveries. That's a challenge. Okay, so that's a recommendation, a pro tip, if you will.
Thank you.
Okay, the second thing is the parking system itself. I'm just curious. My question is sort of following up on Joe's, is what happens when the Wi-Fi goes down? Because this is all very, it sounds wonderful, but there is that, number one. And number two, how long has this, I'm going to say whiz-bang, and I say that admiringly, this whiz-bang system been in operation? What's their track record? Are you at the bleeding cutting edge of this technology, or is it well established? I'd like to get more information
Sure.
about that.
So as a part of working on this project, we have been talking to 4 different puzzle parking systems. All offer variety of different features, capabilities, and I want to call out that puzzle parking systems and automated parking systems, they are not that common in the Bay Area, but they are being used pretty extensively. This company has a large number of installations in Southern California and other parts of the country. And these are well-defined, well-established systems which are being used globally in many parts of the world, because the same challenges of parking don't exist just here, they exist everywhere. So I'm very confident that the system that is being used, all our analysis has been around comparing through several metrics, not just price, but several different metrics: retrieval times, up times, incidental issues, maintenance times, downtimes, lots of different metrics that we are evaluating all the 4 vendors. We have been evaluating all 4 vendors for, and our decision is based on choosing the most capable system for this, and still assuming that there will be downtimes. There will be downtimes, there will be mechanical failures, and having enough redundancy built into the system. So we live in Silicon Valley, and I think in most cases, we set the tone for the rest of the world with respect to how the humanity progresses forward. And I would say that we're just being in line with it right now, what we're doing. We're not doing extraordinary stuff with the system. We're not trying to get something alpha quality or beta quality software putting in. We're working with, this is several $1 million of parking system being put in, and it comes with a lot of thought behind it.
Okay. I will just say it's in line with the putting the outlets in. It will never be fast enough.
I should also clarify, in the operation plan, it does specify that if the mobile app isn't functional, then there is a customer service 1-800 number that you can call, and they can manually disperse the car through the system, because the system is hardwired through a landline. So if the Wi-Fi system is somehow not working, then they can hardwire and send it. They'll send you a code on your phone, and then it'll transmit it if the system is down there locally.
So the system has been decided.
We haven't signed the contract yet,
Okay.
but we are pretty much.
Okay, that's the one Sean's referring to. Okay, great. All right, any more parking related or go, please?
I mean, I still don't think I totally get it, but if I could just walk through. So you come in off of Jordan Lane and you pull into that bay, let's just call it Bay 1, the one on the bottom. And then you step out of your car and the lift takes the car down because there's 2 floors of parking, correct? And then somebody else can just pull in right after that. Okay.
Yeah, a few
So
seconds behind it.
there'll be like another platform for them to turn.
The light turns green and anybody else can pull right behind.
Okay. And then when you want to get your car, you call it, or however you get to call it, and you get into the car. So somehow the car reverses orientation.
That is correct.
And both of the bays can be in or out.
That's correct.
Okay. So that, I think I just needed clarification on that.
Yes.
It's very, is there a puzzle parking thing like this in Silicon Valley already?
This particular company does not have an installation in Silicon Valley, but they have an installation in LA.
Okay.
But there are others
yeah.
in Los Altos
Yes.
as well, right? Yeah, on First Street, I believe, and Millbrae, I know some.
Oh,
of
the
them.
puzzle.
Yeah.
Not the, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stephanie?
I
anything?
was just going to confirm that, yeah, about a year ago, me and Mr. Zorns actually visited. It's not the same company, but the same kind of puzzle concept, automated parking system in Burlingame at an office building.
Mm.
And there is also another one going in downtown of this automated puzzle system.
Downtown. Los-
Oh,
Los Altos.
Okay. All right. Are we good on parking? All right. Other questions from anybody?
I had another.
Please.
The construction method that you have, are there limitations in terms of, this might be a question for the architect, are there any limitations with that construction method in terms of the architecture, or does it offer the same capability with kind of standard construction?
It offers full architectural flexibility. There is no limitation on the, it just is a way to expedite construction because of same materials or equivalent materials being used to pre-assemble parts of the building in such a way that it expedites the construction on site. There are no architectural limitations.
So the units themselves are not prefab.
No.
It's just the panels on the outside that can be, it can be articulated differently if possible, but there's no limitations with that, with the
That's
materials.
correct, yes.
Okay.
So it's primarily a rough building system. It doesn't do the finishes. The finishes are all done on site after the building is watertight, essentially. Waterproofing is all connected on site. And after that, all the finishing is completed on site.
Got it. Okay.
The panel system is also your company.
That is correct.
I don't know if
I
you're
am the
aware.
founder and CEO of Livio Building Systems, which is the.
And what is the tallest building that has been built with this system? I'm just curious.
So far, it's a 4-story building, but we also have other projects in the works, which are 8-story and 13 stories as well.
And you could build a skyscraper with this? Or?
I'm not a structural engineer, but the amount of structural steel you will need to start putting in as you go vertically for shear forces, as well as some of the other constraints would reduce. So today we take on projects as a Livio company only till about 15 stories or so.
Okay. All right. Other go ahead, Susan.
When we met, you mentioned this was going to be a rental building, but it's actually being asked to be a condo building. What is your latest thinking on that? Because
Right.
rental units would be terrific to have, particularly below market rate ones.
Thank you. I love this location. That's why we originally went into this location. We want to hold it for as long as possible. So our intention was, and I've been completely transparent with the staff, with our consultants, with you, with everybody in the community, with our investors, that we intend to hold this asset. We almost went bankrupt on this project once with factors completely outside of control. So in order to have the ability to protect ourselves from such a calamity, once again, we wanted to have ability to exit if we needed to exit. And that's why this building is being fully mapped as condos. Depending on the prevailing interest rates, cap rates, and a bunch of other external factors outside our control, we may be required to sell a few units, which we will, for those market reasons only. Otherwise, the intention is to have the entire building be held as a part of the ownership. Thank you.
Other questions on this side?
First of all, this is awesome. I love your automated parking. This is,
Questions?
oh, sorry. Yes. Tell me about the construction of the panels. Do you need a big crane, whatever? You are having limited area on this. It's a small site. So are you going to need to have your crane in the street lifting the panels up? Goes back to the parking and the traffic. It's just, how you going to put it up?
So we would have the rear of the property available to us. The building footprint is where we have currently this entire zone would be available to us during construction. And we would plant the crane in this area, somewhere in this area, to be able to serve the entire project. That's the current design. There's a lot more thought that needs to go into the construction planning, but the initial planning is that we would be serving the entire build out with the crane situated in this area.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Is the land behind the property available? I think it's a parking lot currently. Is that correct?
It's a driveway.
It's a driveway?
Yes.
So it's not available?
It's not available.
Okay, so hard stop at the property line?
Yes.
Okay. Other questions down here? Because I have a few, if no one else has any questions. So, Sean, I wanted to call your attention to page 281 in the report, impact number 4. And when I first read this, it said there were 3 access driveways, and I was confused by that. I think it's the traffic report, so I'm not actually sure who prepared this traffic report, but that is not correct, right? There's only one access. Sorry, I'll give you a chance to get to the page. 281, impact number 4.
What's the particular question about that?
Well, the proposed project would have 3 access driveways. And
That's not correct. Yeah. That's
okay, I thought so. And I was like, I'm not seeing the other 2 access driveways. So, okay.
there's
So,
only one access driveway.
okay, that's what I thought. Thank you.
Unless somehow they're counting the main driveway and the 2 access points into the garage.
Okay.
Is the only way I could assume that's what they
Okay.
meant. The transportation, Abram Associates, they're here if you have questions too also.
No, I think it was just a typo, but
okay.
I just wanted to double check it because I couldn't find them. And then so the traffic report was prepared for the applicant, and then the city reviewed the traffic report after that. Is that correct?
Yes, there are quite a few revisions to get it to a point where it was consistent with all the city's policies.
And I had a great conversation with Stephanie earlier today where she talked about how the calculations were done and how, because with a new project across the street with 30 something units and 80 something units on the other side, we have 120-ish new residences going in a very small small section of land. So you guys have analyzed this and come to the conclusion that the impact was at the acceptable level. I think it was like a 12-second delay or something like that, if I remember correctly, Stephanie, from earlier today. But the city has concluded it's all okay. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we have.
All right. Thank you. Because I know many of the residents were addressing the parking and the traffic and the congestion concerns, and I wanted to make sure we covered that. And then I just had one more question for Mr. Aron. So when we met on site, you talked about a backup power system for that the parking system would be available. So I didn't see that in the plans anywhere. Is it a diesel generator? Is it batteries? Like what are you thinking?
We are exploring both solutions. In the previous version of the project, when we had it, we went through this construction drawings. We had a diesel generator based system previously engineered. So we are open to that idea. I think it'll be better to have a battery bank based system. It's just more environmentally friendlier. So we are exploring both from a construction drawing standpoint. Yeah.
But you are committing that there will be
There will be
something.
backup. Yes.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to get that on the record.
I should clarify too. I mean, if this is regards to the battery backup for the below grade garage, it is defined as a battery backup system in the plan set.
Oh, it's on there somewhere?
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's required by building code.
Yeah, it's in the basement floor plan, sheet A10. It references a battery backup system.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I didn't see it when I was going through, so that's perfect.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, please go ahead.
It's
Get close.
It's separate.
Yeah,
Is that
go-
okay?
go ahead.
Can I ask about the bike parking?
Yeah,
Quickly?
absolutely.
It sounds like there's Class A parking. It sounds like there's Class A parking that's both below grade, like it's underneath, correct? And then also,
The bicycle?
yeah, the bicycle parking. Can you just talk a little bit more about the bicycle parking?
Yeah, the main portion of the bicycle parking, there's a large bicycle room at grade at the back corner of the building, adjacent to the parking space that we've been talking about for the trucks. And that handles the bulk of the bicycle parking to meet the city's criteria, which, we're not sure there'll be that many bikes. The parking system is actually set up as well so that somebody can come in on their bike, a rack system comes up instead of a car, and your bike can be parked in the underground system as well.
Okay.
So it meets the city's threshold. I believe it's 1.5 bicycles per unit. So
unit,
there's about
yeah.
130 bicycle parking spaces.
And is there charging with those?
There is now. Yes, I mean, as somebody noted, I mean it's pretty simple to provide outlets in those bike rooms, and it's a very large bike room, so we'll provide some outlets kind of up and down the wall.
If the bike's being taken down as part of the rack system, is there a way to plug it in when you bring your bike in?
Well, that's probably a detail we could address. There are chargers on the car part of the system, so that you could have as many chargers as people want. Basically, you can have the minimum number and then more. I assume that would be possible. I would guess that we would try to keep the electric bikes up in the bike room and other bikes that are probably less used underground. People that have electric bike, I think, tend to use it more often than others.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would
guess-
just like to,
oh,
if you
go
don't mind, I would just like to add that I think almost 90% of the bike parking is at the grade level in the bike room. So we have almost, like, I don't know, Jeff, you have the exact number, 100 spots or something for bikes
28,
in
yeah.
that main front grade, and only minimal small spots,
Below, yeah.
Going from memory, I believe it's 105 in the bike room and 28 under in the parking lot.
Yeah, on here it says 108, but yeah, the details don't matter. But yeah, I hope that I've seen very large bike parking storage at large multifamily residences, and I just hope that it's very organized and it's easy to get in and out, and that you know, some bikes can be really heavy, like it's easy to mount them, or however it is going to be. I expect that people who live here would have a lot of bikes. I mean, this is close to the bus stop, but also not that far from Caltrain, and people could bike to Caltrain and then take the train, which would be ideal. So
Yeah, it's an organized rack system, so you can enter the bike room from inside the building and then exit the bike room directly to the outside of the building, so that you're not bringing bikes, you know, through the building, up the elevators, all those fun things. I'm sure some people would still want to do that.
yeah.
but-
That the bike door on the outside was next to one of the parking
Yeah,
driveways,
it's
right?
kind of beyond, it's the furthest back
yeah.
along there, yes.
Okay, great. All good? All right, are there other questions on anything? I think we are good on questions. So let me see. We are going to go next to public comments. So I have too many cards to count. And so we're going to allow 1 minute per person. We're going to start off with Julia, and I'm not sure it's Shmilev. I hope I got that right. And next up will be Anatole. I'll pre-announce if we could do 1 minute each.
Hello. Good evening. My name is Julia Shmilev, and I live on Jordan Avenue. And I'm here to protest the proposed building project. The proposed structure is too large for our neighborhood, and it will significantly increase traffic. And this intersection is already busy. Many children walk or bike here every day, and I've personally seen many close calls between kids and cars. And adding more traffic will only make it more dangerous. The original project was designed to be only 3 stories high or 5, and I believe that should remain the limit. Please keep our community safe and livable. Thank you.
Thank you. Anatole. And next up would be HUI Zhang, Yui Zhang, I believe, after Anatole.
Hello, thank you for inviting me here tonight to members of the Planning Commission. My name is Anatole Shmilev. I live on Jordan Avenue. I'm the president of Los Altos Normandy Place Homeowners Association, which is right next door to this proposed development. We're about 2 stories tall. This building's going to be 8 stories tall. It's probably going to be the tallest building in Los Altos. Is that true? Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, I'm going to ask the audience again. Please do not comment. Okay? Thank you.
So, to address just some of the things, for example, I'm not a specialist in traffic studies, and so reading this report, there's a lot of stuff that's incomprehensible to me. But there are some things that I'd like to address. Page 6. In the project vicinity, there are sidewalks in most areas. You've been on Jordan Avenue. You know that there are no sidewalks in most areas. The sidewalks extend a little bit up the street from El Camino, then they break, then there's a little bit more extension, and then there's no sidewalks whatsoever. So where are people going to be walking in the area? It's unsafe as it is. It's going to be even less safe with all of this traffic coming in. Cars, people, babies with strollers, mothers, and so on and so forth. There's going to be a lot of people there, and it's going to cause a lot of problems. Is that my time?
It is.
I've got more to say, but I guess I have to stop there.
Thank you. And as with everybody, we've read all of the comments that have come in. If you have more comments, please send them. Huey, and then next up is Jim Clark, if you want to prepare yourself.
Hi, I'm Hui. I'm here
Hui.
to protest. I think 8-story, 85 unit with high capacity is significant in fact the area, and the expansion appears to be procedure loophole used to silence our public concerns. And it will cause irreversible harm from noise, shadowing, and most critical trafficking. Although you mentioned like there is no parking requirements, but you ignore it. This country is car dependent, and this city is car dependent. And you mentioned you have 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom. How can you ensure you have owning like 95 cars? And how are you guaranteed they're gonna bike and use bus? I think it's very unacceptable and make this small area like more packed. And you also mentioned there are 33 new units at another side of Jordan and El Camino. And how can this be possible? I think it's not just double parking, triple parking, and 4 times parking.
Thank you. Jim Clark, followed by Ann Paulson.
The meeting is muted, Sean. People online cannot hear it.
Oh, let's pause for 1 second. What's muted?
Online folks cannot hear the meeting.
Staff?
Yeah, let me work on it.
Okay, we're going to pause for 1 second. If you could bear with us, sir, just so the
Time's up.
Yeah. Thank you for your comment. Can someone please talk to the AV guy and get this solved?
Is it just the mic?
I don't know. You're saying the Zoom is muted? Oh, there he is. Mr. Aron, could you tell him what is going on, that the problem is?
Several folks are reporting that they can't hear on Zoom. Yes. Okay.
Is that because they're not close to the mic, or it's just nothing at all?
They were able to get it all along. Only now it's.
Oh, something went down?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to wait for you, sir. Okay, thank you. Sorry for the delay. If anyone would like to stretch their legs, or I know I would like to, so. Oh yeah, bathrooms are outside. Get all your chit chat out of the way right now while we're pausing, and we'll.
Do some gymnastics?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, snacks.
Yeah, we'll have one.
Here, I'll let you do that. What is it? Did Susan get one?
I did.
Jolie, should we take a recess? What do you think? All right, we're gonna take a short recess until. Oh, you're back?
Oh, they muted themselves?
By someone in the city? Who runs the Zoom for the city, people? All right, they said you muted them, I guess, but all right, are we good? Okay. All right. Mr. Aron, could you ask your friend if they're able to hear me right now, or does anyone need a break, or are we? Okay. Yeah, well, we're going to take a 5-minute break just so people can go to the restroom. We'll resume around 7:51, and ask them if they can hear me on the Zoom. All right, if we could get back to order here. Our KMVT guy just left, so I hope did someone relieve him or oh, someone did relieve him. All right, great. They handed off. All right, we're gonna start up again with Mr. Clark, followed by Ann Paulson.
Are we ready?
Please, well, Stephanie's gonna start your clock here in a second. Yeah, and please, everybody speak into the mic at your appropriate height.
Is it? I think it's up.
It's up all the way here. Yeah, he already did that.
All
All right.
Whoops, wrong button. Yep, that's as high as it goes.
All right.
Okay, so anyhow, my name is Jim Clark. I've lived on Jordan Avenue for 30 years. The project is a short walk from my house. My main concern is both traffic and safety. It's nice that they have a Star Wars based parking system, but the traffic does back up on Jordan because the cycle time on the lights at Jordan and El Camino is 2 minutes. And within that 2 minutes, it backs up beyond that spot now. Also, we get a large number of kids crossing El Camino and cycling or walking down Jordan, because Jordan is a safe route to school designated site, and putting them in the street with traffic is not the good thing. And I just think this site should have been designed with the access on El Camino for parking rather than on Jordan.
Thank you. Ann Paulson, followed by it's either Daryl or Darrell Hoff.
Hi, I'm glad that there's going to be lots of power outlets in the bike room, and I've also urged the applicant to make sure that you don't have to store e-bikes vertically, because I have an e-bike, it's right outside. I can't do that, and I think most people can't. So we should maybe consider putting that in our rules for future projects. But I think you have to approve this project, and I hope you do.
Putting, I just want to clarify, putting bikes not up on, like hanging them, like putting them on the ground. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because I can't lift my bike. I can't, by 75 pounds, I can't lift it.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right.
So we should require that, because this is a rental. People are going to have e-bikes. They can't afford 2 cars, and we don't want them to have 2 cars. We want them to have 1 car, because the other one is going to be parked on Jordan, right? We don't want that. So we should make it really easy.
Thank you for biking here tonight, as always. Mr. Hoff, followed by Rachel Mudge, I believe it is.
Good evening. My name is Daryl Hoff. I also live on Jordan. I think I second Jim's recommendation of using El Camino as the loading zone. I know there's conflict now because of the bike lanes and stuff, so that's an issue. But Jordan, the light is long. The kids going to and from school. You're adding a lot of combinations there that are going to add up with probably not working in the long run. We don't actually go down Jordan during rush hour because we know the traffic light's so slow, and we're only 150 feet away, but it's actually faster to go down the other direction. So that's one issue I think that needs to be thought about. The city can certainly mitigate it. I think the city should even look at permit parking, because 95 cars, and I think Mr. Bruin, I think he's doing as best he can, but 95 cars for that many units, 2 and 3 bedrooms. The numbers from the National Multifamily Housing say it's going to be about 2.2 cars per unit. So you're looking at close to a couple hundred cars. And I think it's just not going to fit. There are going to be a lot of cars on the street that's not there. Thank you.
Thank you. Rachel Mudge, followed by Defang Wu, I think it is.
Thank you so much for your time. My husband is also the chair of the Complete Streets Commission, so I know what it's like for you to take public comments and be away from your families at this current time. I am going to talk about parking, but not inside the building, outside the building. So if we look at where the Jack in a Box is and the residents behind there, they're going to build on that 30 units, I think I just heard tonight, right? So if we use the assumption of 2 parking spaces per unit, which I think is actually low, especially if you have a 3-bedroom house and you have teenagers, right? So if you have 30 units there, you're probably going to need enough. And let's say they put 30 parking spaces in, looking like it's 1-to-1 at each of these buildings. You have 30 spaces that you're needing there out on the street. This property that we're talking about right now needs another 150 cars that are going to park around. They can't park around the corner because around the corner is El Camino, and they can't park on El Camino. So they're going to park on Marriage, and that's where I live. I'm parallel to El Camino,
I'm sorry.
and it's going to be a lot.
Thank you. And then followed by, I believe it's Giting Yi. I'm sorry for the mispronunciations. It's hard to read some of these. Please.
I sent in my written comment. There are 4 items in it. First of all, I don't think this lot can be redeveloped because it doesn't meet the minimum requirement under the city code 14.50.70. Secondly, I think for this particular lot, it doesn't meet 14.50.140, which requires 5 stories, and the developer hasn't requested a waiver. Third thing is the base density is flawed. They calculated they can fit 130 units on each acre. That's absurd because the agenda 2 item clearly, the other agenda said 39 units. This is 130. My fourth point is the Density Bonus Act does not give them an automatic waiver of the city code. So in other words, I can prove they can definitely fit 85 units on this lot and follow every city code and standard. But they decided to say they couldn't fit. They want all the waivers. Why? Because they want to make other apartments larger. That's not the scope of the Bonus Act. I can prove that, but I run out of time.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Yi, followed by Gaurav Jain.
Hi, I'm Gui. I'm also the resident in Jordan Avenue. I just want to make 2 points. The applicant says the Avalon is on the other side of the street and it's pretty high. But actually, the Avalon is in Mountain View City, it's not in Los Altos. So this building will go up to 8 stories, which will be unusual in Los Altos City. And also for the parking, I think many other people already say it, but I want to remind the commander here, the traffic light will make it very difficult for even the people live in building go outside because the traffic will line up on the Jordan Avenue and they have no way to get outside from this building. So that's my 2 points.
Thank you. Could you guys take that outside, please? It's very disruptive. Okay. Next up, Gaurav Jain, followed by Han Ren.
Hi, my name is Gaurav. I'm a Los Altos resident living close by. I'd just like to express my support for affordable housing projects like the proposed project. I was in particular very happy to see the 1 and 2 bedroom units, which I will support young families, and we need more of those kind of units to support our schools. One main ask I would say is, yes, I agree that there are sidewalk improvements that we should have on Jordan, but I want to say that that is not a reason to deny the project. It's more a reason that we need to figure out how to get the city to help support these kinds of projects and try to enable them, whether that's sidewalks, loading, or whatnot. But these are solvable problems. That's not a reason to just reject a project. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Han Ren, followed by Jing Jin.
Hi, this is Han Ren. I live on Marriage. I lived in Los Altos for 8 years. And I built my own home on Marriage. As a home builder, the first thing I actually thought about is what's my social responsibility when I want to live here. I really love this place. I thought about traffic, landscape, and parking space. I intentionally leave what's in front of me, like allowing my neighbors to park there. So I don't see any sidewalk, and I have seen minimum number of trees really around. There are 4 trees. That's really, really low there. And when they're talking about the fancy system there, I want to point out there's a disaster recovery thing that hasn't been considered. And there's a fire alarm. It goes out all the time. Like, how do they evacuate? There's an earthquake. So those cars will just block that street, and then they have nowhere to come out. And the last thing is, I do think they are cherry picking data and referencing Mountain View and setting this as a terrible precedence.
Thank you. Jing. Last speaker.
And thank my neighbors for talking about the parking issue a lot, but it's not enough for this issue. Like this is a very busy way, and it's like the only exit for thousands of residents and homes, not only for Jordan Avenue, also for Portela Court, Marriage Way, and a lot of other like residents in this area. And it's very, very busy, and it's a one-lane road, and it's very and considering how close it is to the main entrance, the traffic is just unbearable. I feel very sorry for our community and for the future residents gonna living in this project. Like their developer only considering the minimal requirement and not considering about the life quality of everyone in this community. That's not respectful at all. And also, considering the height of the project, eight levels, they gonna look directly in my room, in my personal room.
Thank you. All right. No, please, come on, guys. This is really hard. So let's keep it. That was the last comment. The applicant now has 5 minutes if you'd like to rebut any of the comments that were stated or provide any other, finish your presentation from earlier. I know it took us a little while to get back.
Thank you so much, Jenna, if you don't mind. Thank you. I would like to start with just clarifying, first and foremost, there are 0 3-bedroom units on the project. There are studios, which are 520 square feet to 600, and there are 2 of 520 square feet. There are 7 of 600 square feet studios. There are 47 of 1-bedroom apartment or condos, 750 square feet. And
Stephanie, 5 minutes.
There are 22 of,
sorry,
there are 22 of 1,020 square feet, 1,020 square feet, 2 bedrooms. And there are 7 of 870 square feet, 2-bedroom units. So there are 0 3-bedroom, and I just wanted to clarify that. I also wanted to just bring a reminder to the fact that by code and by law, we are not required to provide any parking in this project. We are probably going to be spending about $10 million in excavation and all the necessary things that are required to support a subgrade parking system that deep to be able to support the parking system and the parking system itself. That's $10 million that we did not need to by code, and I would humbly submit that we are doing our earnest to be able to do. I also respect some of the comments that I heard and will do our very best in the process during constructability. My brain was also already cranking. Can we figure out ways to lift cars, bikes automatically, and figure out what technology exists that can be incorporated. I would like to invite our land use attorney, Jenna, please, to just share her comments.
Hi, thank you. Good evening. My name is Jenna Yarkin. I'm with Holland and Knight. We are land use counsel for the applicant. I think the staff report does a really wonderful job of highlighting the legal protections that apply to this project, but I just wanted to put a spotlight on a few things. First, the project complies with all applicable general plan requirements, commercial thoroughfare zoning standards, and other code requirements, except to the extent that those are being modified by the state density bonus law. The applicant has documented its eligibility for its waivers, which is allowed because it is providing the 10 very low income units. This is an uncommonly provided and much needed unit type. A height waiver is almost always required when you're applying a really large density bonus like this one, and it's required to be approved here consistent with state law. The project's also protected by the Housing Accountability Act, which strictly limits ability to deny the project and prohibits the application of subjective design criteria. So only objective mandatory standards can be applied, and those need to be applied in a way that takes account of the project's state density bonus law benefits. We've heard some members of the public are concerned about the project's traffic and utility impacts because it's quite dense, and we understand those are frequent community concerns that come up with dense development. But the city has carefully and appropriately considered the legal standard that applies when considering whether a Class 32 infill exemption applies for CEQA. A project's height or number of units are not in themselves indicative of significant impacts, and a wide variety of projects can be exempt from CEQA. Instead, what's important is that it's been demonstrated the project site is less than 5 acres. It is surrounded by other urban uses, and it would not have significant or unusual impacts on traffic, noise, water quality, or air quality when studied using CEQA's specific standards. We understand the members of the community who are worried about the density of the building. However, many new and existing community members who live in this project aren't represented here tonight, and they'll be able to live in a beautiful new building and call it home. This includes 10 very low-income units that are sized for singles, couples, and families. So for all the above reasons, we request you approve the project in compliance with state law. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna. I would like to conclude with just listing that not only do we comply with the applicable laws and standards, my original plan when we acquired this project was to build a 5-story project that was previously approved, and due to extreme financial stress and duress where I almost declared bankruptcy, we had to envision a new project on this site, and it is financially imperative for us and required for us to be able to make it pencil given the current development costs, construction costs, as well as just the interest rates prevailing in the market. However, I would like to conclude with that I've lived in Los Altos and have worked alongside and lived alongside amazing neighbors and community members over the many years who bring the vision of Silicon Valley to the future. And I really hope that my efforts and our team's efforts, and thankfully for the support of the planning commissioner staff here and city staff, we'll be able to build something which we'd be proud of building, and it would further sustainable, inclusive, and innovative growth in the heart of Silicon Valley. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, I am going to close the public hearing, and we're going to move on to Planning Commission discussion. Is there anybody who'd like to start? Commissioner Steinle.
I will start. Because I'm stupid and ignorant and careless, I wasn't aware that you were going to be renting these out as opposed to selling them. So that was a real eye-opener for me, because it makes a big difference in the way that I approach this particular project, which, as your attorney and you and everybody else have pointed out, is perfectly compliant with California law. And one of the things that comes with this, and I'm sorry to all the people who came to object, Los Altos law doesn't count. It's state law that determines what goes on, and that's all there is. So our local code doesn't actually control very much of anything that is going on here. The density bonus law tells us what we have to do. This complies with that. In fact, looking at the density bonus law, parking, leaving aside the question of whether parking was required, this is already parked about 50% more than would be required under the density bonus law for the number of units and the sizes. So it's extremely generous from that point of view. It occurred to me in thinking about this, and I'm going to be philosophical for 15 seconds, and only 15 seconds because Joe will not let me be philosophical for longer than that. Most of the homes in Los Altos have a 2-car garage. How many cars are actually associated with those homes? More than 2. And most of the garages are full of stuff other than cars. So the cars have to be parked someplace. So they get parked on the street, they get parked in the driveway, they get parked wherever. And that's our right as Los Altos residents. We're now going to have 85 homes worth more of residents. And they have the same right to park that everyone else has, under the same conditions. Whatever they've got available to them for parking off the street, great. And if they can't park off the street, they park on the street. And they have as much right to that as anybody else. I say this as somebody who for 15 years has been the president of a homeowners association. We don't have that problem particularly, but there you are. Okay, because we were built before and we actually went under the old system, so we actually have lots of parking. We even have guest parking. But that's the fact, okay? And I'm sorry about that, but this is the way it works. El Camino Real is now a multifamily area, and this joins that. It is an adventure. I'm going to say I remain hopeful about the parking system and its continuing work, and also the construction, which would be a real step forward in efficient construction of buildings in Los Altos and elsewhere. So if we're going to be the camel's nose under the tent, or we're going to be the leaders of the pack, or whatever metaphor you want to use, you know, I wish us luck, right? And I wish you luck in that, because that's going to be, there will be adventures. There will never be enough outlets. Things will never move fast enough. And whoever is the president of the HOA will get phone calls constantly about how it's not working.
Are we still in the 15 seconds philosophical discussion?
No,
or-
we got past. philosophy
Okay,
a little
okay,
while
I
ago.
wasn't
I'm
sure.
not making comments, yes.
Okay, please do.
My back is hurting. I have to, I broke my back a month ago, so I'm on medication, which doesn't help me. The overall, I mean, this is a project that we have no choice but to approve, quite frankly. And I will have one piece of advice as both a homeowners association president and a lawyer: do not sell any of them. Just don't. You'll have to come up with a homeowners association. You have an excellent attorney who knows how to handle this, and I think in private she might suggest to you the same thing. It's all rental, which is good, because we don't have very many rental units in Los Altos, and we need more of that. And so that is encouraging as well. Okay, so I think that would be very good. And traffic will be whatever it is. So anyway, those are my comments. I will vote to approve the project in the circumstances, and wish you luck.
All right, Maris, I think you had your hand raised if you want to go.
Yeah, I'll start by talking about the architecture, since no one really mentioned it. I think anything that goes above 4 or 5 stories, I think, is just going to end up looking very formulaic. With that said, I do think that this building is especially plain. Sorry. I think there's a lot of missed opportunities of incorporating really unique features on the design and not having it look like it was computer generated. But I think, you know, like we said before with the previous project, once you request 10 or 15 waivers, this ends up happening. So, you know, maybe that can be incorporated. I don't know. I'm in support of the project as a whole. I'm in support of the distribution of units. I think having more affordable by design units like studios and 1-bedrooms, I think, is really essential for Los Altos. The thing that I am perplexed by, and I don't think I will ever understand, is how the parking is going to work. I can stare at that diagram, but logically, it just doesn't make sense having 5 people come in, 5 people come out, a family with kids and strollers, and it's going to be, I don't want to swear, but it's going to be a blank show, I think. And I just, I'm very worried about that. So I do think that there's maybe things that can be done. I don't know if we can do those things, but the street light timing, reducing that in some way, or having the city look at that, I think that's a big problem. I think the landscaping on Jordan Avenue, maybe removing that landscaping and making a pop-in for the UPS loading, because at that point, is landscaping really that essential? I think it's more essential to have a designated spot for a truck, so that the residents aren't impacted. Permit parking on Jordan, I think, is going to be essential, but again, that's not something I don't think we can do right now. But I think that needs to happen, because you're going to have guests, they're going to park on Jordan, or surrounding streets. So there's a lot of stuff that I wish we could incorporate, but as a whole, I think, like Eric said, we have to move the project forward, and yeah, those are my comments.
All right, thank you. Look this way. Anybody? Go ahead.
As has already been said, we have to approve this project. And we have to approve it as it's. done.
Please, ma'am, if
under-
you interject again, I'm going to ask you to leave. We need to let the commissioners speak, okay? Thank you.
Under state law, we have no options. We just don't. Do I like the building? No. I kind of agree with Maris. There could have been a lot more done to make it more interesting. 8 stories is tall. It does look like an formula office building to me. But we can't require him to change that because it met our objective standards. You know, I wrote in my note, unattractive building. But unfortunately, we have to approve it. We have to approve it at 8 stories. Having said that, I would encourage him to keep it a rental building because I'm sure there will be pressures to change it to a condo. And as someone who's approving it, partly knowing you told me a rental building now twice, I hope you adhere to that. I understand economic situations can change, but nonetheless, interest rates are coming down. You should be able to keep it a rental. I applaud you on the parking. Hopefully it will work for you. I also think, I appreciate the fact you're investing $10 million in that, but let's also be honest, that helps you sell the building. So if you didn't have parking in that building, it would be very hard to sell those units. It just would. So good for you, but let's also be practical about why you're doing it. I approve of it. I like the fact you're distributing the below market rate units inside and throughout the building. So some people haven't done that, and I appreciate you doing that. I hope we can do something about safe route to schools, because I do know, I go down Jordan Avenue fairly often from El Camino. It's kind of a cut through street over to Portola and San Antonio. That something is done about that, because that is going to be a danger. Just adding this many cars. And again, I hope the city can work with, I guess the state controls El Camino. Is that right? State controls El Camino? So if they can work with the state and the city can do something and with the school district to try to make that better, that would be very nice. And I like Maris's idea of maybe doing something in limited landscaping on Jordan to create a bay. I hadn't thought about that, but it would make a big difference. So I'm going to vote to approve it. I wish it wasn't so tall. I wish it was a more attractive building, but I'm sorry, it's the way the state law works now.
Thank you. All right.
Well, I don't know what to say. I think said pretty much I'd like to say. I'm really concerned with the traffic, the ingress and egress, small driveway, the cars that come and go, and 5 cars waiting to go in, 5 cars waiting to go out, 5 cars 3 cars in the parking lot. I think I'm more concerned about the students, the pedestrians, those are using Jordan, crossing from Mountain View, where they're living in apartments and houses. They're taking their bikes, they're going over down to Portola, and they're going over to the school. I feel sorry for them, because you're going to have a tremendous amount of cars coming. Those people are working. 90, 85 people are going to work. We're assuming some are going to work, and they're going to come in and out of that driveway in the morning. You've got the traffic on Jordan going to the light. And as I said, every time I've been there, there's been 2 or 3 cars at the light. How are those cars going to get out? What about the kid on the bicycle that you don't see because you're in a hurry to get to work? And I'm really concerned. And it's, as they say, it's a safe street. Something I think really has to be done. If there's any way I could stop the project until we figure out what to do, I would certainly do it. But we don't have any control. We're beckoned by this density law and these things that we have to adhere to. And 5 stories would have been a beautiful building. Could have been much more attractive. It looks like a Lego building. Well, it really is sort of a Lego building, you know, and I think you can do more. Thank you.
Sure.
Just one thing I'd like to also go about the school traffic that Richard was talking about. There is going to be an increased problem if the Los Altos School District goes forward and puts a school on the north of El Camino site and does not make it a neighborhood school. As many of you may know, they want to put Bullis Charter there, which means you're going to have many more cars and bicyclists crossing at Jordan and across El Camino. So it's going to be a serious problem with this building and just in general that I think people need to start working on now. If it's a neighborhood school, not an issue. If it's not a neighborhood school, it's going to be 1,000 people going across El Camino every day.
Commissioner Ross?
Yeah, I mean, the look of the building actually doesn't bother me. I mean, I think if people brought up, you know, do you like this building to 10 different people, you'd have 10 different answers. So I think that's just extremely subjective, but Yeah, I mean, we need the rental housing. I echo a lot of what Commissioner Mensinger said about putting the BMR units on different levels. I appreciate that, and they're also different sizes. I do think, and I echo what Commissioner Mensinger said about the parking. Yes, I think it's great that you included parking, but also she's absolutely right. A building without parking is not going to rent. So all buildings are going to have parking, even if it's not required. I think the light timing, it sounds like it's come up enough that that could be looked at Jordan if it's too long. I think that could help alleviate maybe some of the backups. And then also the delivery zone, taking out the trees. Yes, there are not that many trees in this project, but aren't any trees there now. So, creating a delivery zone, I think, is a good idea as well. And I think that's it. I mean, yeah, it is. It exists.
All right. And I will echo the same concerns as my colleagues here. I want to clarify a couple of things. I do agree, just so all the residents understand, Mr. Aron is entitled to build this building with 0 parking spots by state law. And so the fact that they are doing something more than that, we should thank him for that, because the problem would be even worse if they chose not to spend the $10 million. I will warn you, and I think when we met, I mentioned this to you, you should go to Station 16 in Millbrae. They have a dual parking system with much bigger than this. I think it was hundreds of cars. It was down for 6 weeks recently. And they had to pay people to park in the BART parking lot. You might want to understand which system they used. I don't know which one, and what happened, because maybe you can alleviate some of the problems, but the cars were stuck up in the rafters and they couldn't get them down. So these parking systems exist in other parts of the world, and they're very common, for example, in Japan. But in the U.S., they seem to have a problem getting them to work. So, but thank you for adding that. I just wanted to mention to Mr. Wu, you should definitely engage with staff, because there are some things in your written comments and in your verbal comments that are not true. And I'm not calling you out for them. I just want you to understand the facts, because the laws changed some of the things that you mentioned. And they were, when I first saw them, I thought, oh, these are good points. But then it turns out it's not applicable to this project. So you might reach out to Sean or Stephanie and just ask them about your comments. Because we did hear all of you. We understand the concerns. And when you take a building that, might have been 50 feet, 55 feet in height, and double it to 110, Mr. Aron, you're our neighbor. These are your neighbors. And so I'd hate to see you be the guy who, when you're walking around town, they all say, that's the guy who built that monstrosity on El Camino Real, right? And so I'd invite you to engage with these neighbors. You are legally entitled to do this, but it will be your legacy. So I would just encourage you to think about that, and listen to the neighbors. If we can do something about the UPS deliveries, that would be really helpful, I think. When I first saw it, I was wondering, well, where will the guests park? And so it's kind of cool that they can go in. But if it were me, I would park on the street and not deal with that elevator thing, just in case my car never comes back out the other side. To the residents who have expressed their concerns, we've heard you. A 70% density bonus is huge, especially when you're going from 50 units up to 85, and it will be the tallest building in Los Altos history. I recognize across the street there are larger buildings, and this is smaller than some of those, the Avalon and others across the street. But I feel for all of you. I feel for the residents who are concerned about this. I feel for you putting this up and having to listen to people talk to you afterwards, but I'm also sensitive to your plight with the financial stresses that came. So, there we have it. I think we're gonna move forward to motions. And I don't know that we need to read the full. Do we need to read the full motions each time, or can we just talk about a resolution, et cetera? I think we just. The full text. Okay. Is there someone who would like to attempt this, or should we ask the man with the back issues to try again? Would you like to someone else to do it?
No, I can do it. I just have to get to it. So
You want to do it?
I'm here.
Okay.
What?
Commissioner Roche is going to attempt it.
I'll be happy to second.
These two.
Okay. We're going to adopt a resolution approving design review application D 250004 and conditional use permit application number CUP 25-001 for the construction of an 8-story multifamily development and 85 residential units utilizing the state density bonus with waivers at 4898 El Camino Real per the recommended findings and conditions of approval, and find the project is categorically exempt from the environmental review pursuant to section 15332 infill development projects of the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA Attachment 1.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Vice Chair Roche, second by Commissioner Steinle. Could we please take the vote?
Commissioner Ross,
Yes.
Commissioner Ahi,
Yes.
Commissioner Steinle,
Yes.
Commissioner Mensinger,
Yes.
Vice Chair Roach,
Yes.
and Chair Bernardo.
Yes.
Unanimous approval.
All right, motion passes. And the second one, please. You want to try that one too?
Recommend the City Council adopt a resolution approving a vesting tentative map application number TM 250001 to create 85 condominium units and 1 common lot at 4898 El Camino Real per the recommended findings and conditions of approval, and find the project is categorically exempt from the environmental review pursuant to section 15332 infill development projects of the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA Attachment 2.
And I will second.
All right, motion by Vice Chair Roche, seconded by Commissioner Steinle. Could we take the vote, please?
Yes, Commissioner Ross,
Yes.
Commissioner Ahi,
Yes.
Commissioner Steinle,
Yes.
Commissioner Mensinger,
Yes.
Vice Chair Roach,
Yes.
and Chair Bernardo.
Yes.
Unanimous recommendation.
All right, the motions both pass, and I wish all of you good luck. If you want to leave at this point, you're welcome to. We have some other business to attend to. I just ask that you take the conversations away from the doors so we're not disturbed. So we're gonna move on to the item 4 on the agenda, which is the election of the chair and vice chair. I think we're gonna wait 10 seconds here till everybody leaves. I would hope you not. All right. I'm sorry? Yes. Yes. And if you could just ask them to move, move them far away from the doors, that'd be great. Or, yeah, thanks a lot. All right, so first, I would like to say what a privilege it has been to lead this august group the past year, and I appreciate the support and the guidance from all of you. We all, I think we did some great work, sometimes under difficult circumstances. I can't believe not one person stayed to hear my speech. I'm very disappointed. And now Sean's leaving too. But thanks everybody. And just a quick recap, since there's some ambiguity about how this works. So nominations for the chair and the vice chair are different from typical motions. which require a motion and then a second. There's no second required for nominations. Process tonight will be, I'll ask for nominations for chair. I'll confirm with the nominee whether or not they accept the nomination, which in the past, sometimes people reject them. We'll vote on chair. I'll turn the meeting over to that person, and then they will run the same process for vice chair. And I'm happy to share my notes with you if you'd like to have them. So any questions on the process tonight? No, we're good. So why don't we start with chair? Is there a nomination for chair?
I would like to nominate Merus. It's his last year on the commission. He has been a very active, important, I would say vital member of this commission for 8 years. He has previously served as chair. And I wish him, if he is elected, the 2026 will be a very busy year. Okay, so some of us had less busy years. Well, anyway, so that's my nomination.
And would you like to accept this nomination or reject it?
I would just like to say, if Richard, if you would like to be chair, then I would give it to you. And I think that's fair since you were vice chair this past year. So I think if we were doing it the way it's usually done, if Richard, if you'd like it, I've done it, so.
I would defer to you. It'd be a pleasure to work underneath you. Another year of learning. And so I am willing to defer or not accept it.
Okay. Are there other nominations from anybody? Okay. So I believe we take a vote now. Is that right? No public comments? All right. So could we please call the roll?
Commissioner Ross,
Sure, yeah.
Commissioner Ahi,
I would say I would vote for Richard. So if it's me that's on it, I would say no.
Okay, that's a no, because he rejected the, okay,
Oh, okay.
that's a no.
okay,
Or you should
Commissioner
abstain.
Steinle.
I'll abstain.
You want to abstain?
Abstain's
Yeah.
better.
He's abstaining.
I vote yes.
Commissioner Mensinger,
Yes.
Commissioner Roach,
Well, we could, this is interesting. Yes, for Commissioner Ahi.
Yes.
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 and Commissioner Beninado.
Yes.
5-1,
5-1.
with one
Yes.
abstaining.
Okay.
Yes, one abstain.
Well, right.
Yes.
Congratulations. I'm gonna use that one last time. Do you want to switch seats, or can we just, we'll hand the gavel, and here's your,
We're gonna do the vice chair now. Yeah.
okay.
Right.
Oh, I forgot this.
Oh.
Commissioner Ahi is the new chair of the Planning Commission. There you go.
Okay, so would someone like to make a nomination for vice chair?
Well, I'm doing the nominating. I'll nominate Richard to continue for a year as vice chair.
Okay, Richard, do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll take a vote.
Commissioner Ross,
Yes.
Commissioner Ahi,
Yes.
Commissioner Steinle,
Yes.
Commissioner Mensinger,
Yes.
Commissioner Roach,
Yes.
Commissioner Beninado.
Yes.
Okay. So commissioners' reports and comments is next. Anyone have
I don't
reports,
think there's
comments?
anything.
Okay, potential future agenda items. Stephanie, do we have anything?
No, I do not have anything. And the next meeting in November will be canceled.
Okay.
Meeting schedule, particularly for December 18th.
Microphone, please.
Do you know the meeting schedule, if we're going to have a meeting on December 18th, or is it too far away to know?
It's too far away to know, but it is my birthday, so I would prefer not to, but I know that doesn't matter.
Well, and I have 3 holiday parties that night, but I will be here if there's a meeting. I'm just curious. My husband's pressuring me to give him an answer.
I would guess that it would probably be canceled. We don't have anything on the horizon, but
What date
there's
was that?
still the possibility.
The 18th,
Of,
December.
oh, December. Oh, wow.
No, it's Stephanie's birthday.
Okay.
Yes.
Richard, did you have something?
Think about this time of the year, we always talk about commissioners, planning commissioners' goals. And I know that comes up every year and we're called before the city council for a meeting. So I would be interested in what kind of goals the staff has got ready for us, or what the commissioners, what goals we can set forth. Thank you.
And I would second that, and because there's stuff that's going to be happening, it would be nice to have a kind of roadmap in a certain sense. And that may be a little too detailed for what might be available, but talk about our goals, talk about things we would like to do, and talk about things that we anticipate are coming up, even if it's not too certain. Nobody will be held to what they actually say, but it will be helpful to have some discussion of some of those things.
Yes, similar to last year, I can prepare a draft of what is the planning commission's work plan. I don't anticipate the draft to look wildly different than the past one, because a majority of your role is to, hear public hearing items, development projects, code amendments, recommendations to council, which is different than other commissions. But I will add that to the next agenda when we have the next meeting.
But what I was thinking was, if there are things that are in the pipeline, even if they haven't gotten anywhere, we could just know that there are, say, 6 projects in the pipeline, that kind of thing, not necessarily specifics about the projects, but, have an idea of what's coming up that way. I hope, maybe not, but we'll see. Okay? All right.
Okay, so with that said, sorry.
Yeah, I think given the conversation tonight about Jordan and all the loading zones or whatever, I don't know if we have to agendize that separately, or you guys would take that offline with the applicant, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's something we would evaluate with the city engineer.
Okay.
As
So-
to the appropriateness, once we actually get the improvement plans and construction drawings, it's something we can look at more carefully.
Okay. No, I know. No, but we could say we want staff to look at traffic on Jordan, right? I don't know if that's in our, I guess that's complete streets, but anyway, I think you know what we're talking about, so I'll defer there. Go ahead.
Okay, so with that said, if no one else has anything, meeting adjourned at 8:38.
Nice job.